My new book just came in the mail. Let's unbox it and catch up. So, for those of you who don't know, I have spent the last year writing a book. This book. I started writing Six Figure Freelance Writer an entire year ago because I got so many questions from everyone in my community about how to freelance, how to build a freelancing career, and also how to do so mindfully and holistically without burning out or working crazy hours. There's also so many things that people don't tell you about how to do, like crafting your freelance writer agreement in terms of like what contract do your clients sign and how to work with a lawyer to make that. Or how to price packages and do package pricing and hourly packaging versus, or hourly pricing versus package pricing. I also talk about how to take client calls and how to approach talking about money and negotiation and how to do your follow-up email and how to send a proposal. And just kind of all of this stuff that I think that nobody talks about, like how you should never do unpaid test assignments. And why people value what they pay for. And in this book, I also have little field notes and things where I talk a little bit about kind of like my experience and some anecdotes and stories about how I dealt with difficult clients or how I dealt with getting paid for projects when clients were trying not to pay me, or when I let things go, or also how I scaled to $50,000 months. And how kind of I grew as a writer and also learned some of the most difficult parts of freelancing, which is client and customer service kind of aspect of the job, which is very overlooked when people are talking about freelancing. Another thing that people don't talk about enough with freelancing is how to calculate your expenses, particularly business expenses and things that you don't actually think about when you're about to start your own freelancing business full time, in terms of how much does it cost to hire an accountant? What about general liability insurance, which is something that you might need depending on the stage of where you're at freelancing, because when you get started as a freelancer, you can just get started with a freelance portfolio and $0. But eventually, when you kind of pass a threshold, you have to know when do you hire an accountant or maybe a business manager, or even how do you calculate your hourly rate. And so in this book, I include a lot of the digital downloads that I sell on my website, and I include them here for free to kind of help you learn about all of this stuff that I wish somebody told me. And it took me 7 years of freelancing to put all of this knowledge into one book. And I also didn't just put all of my knowledge, but I also put all of the knowledge that has helped other people in my world. So I also offer coaching for freelancers, and I also just helped a lot of friends of mine get into freelancing. And so this book kind of goes into all of the things that they asked me and that they tried, or advice that I gave them that they were like, oh my God, this changed my life. And so things that really, really helped either my coaching clients or my friends or people that I just observed getting into freelancing. I was specifically freelance writing, what I saw really changed their life, really leveled up their income, really helped them deal with difficult clients, or also attract better clients, because there is so much in the kind of the approach to freelancing that has to do with your personal brand. Another thing that people don't talk enough about is burnout and the toll that freelancing can take on you, especially if you're coming from a 9-to-5 full-time job environment and you don't really know how to manage your time, or you don't really know the best way to kind of approach not making sure that you're not burning out, and making sure that you're actually being holistic, and how to manage your energy, not just your time. And I think that that's something that a lot of people don't think about when they get into freelancing. They just want to go, when in reality you have to be strategic about what to prioritize, what types of priorities that you should have at the top of your list, and what are things that are nice to have but you should kind of deprioritize until you get to a certain point. And I think that all of those things that I've seen that made me burn out, that I've been able to help others avoid, I was oh, okay, I need to tell people about this. And so that's kind of part of the reason why I made my TikTok, is to tell people about this, because becoming a six-figure freelancer, specifically a freelance writer, is a lot of strategy. I also do cover a little bit about craft in here. I have a little bit talking about how to write a landing page with an example landing page in here. And so I try to kind of cover, if you want to build a freelance agency, I talk a little bit about how I failed to build a freelance agency and how people who were actually successful, what the difference was between our approaches. And also, do you actually want to build a freelance agency and scale in that way, or do you want to scale in a different way? Do you enjoy managing other people, or do you want to be a one-person an artisan craftsperson and kind of level up that way. And so this book kind of goes over every part of your freelancing career, from the beginning where you're just getting started to becoming an expert and really compounding the growth of your business, to then figuring out what is next after freelancing. When do you stop freelancing? And then what do you do after, and what kinds of passive income streams would you potentially want in order to grow your business even further? I also talk about the freelance flywheel, or basically how your freelancing career works for you after a certain point. Because a lot of people's beef with freelancing is that I have to keep going out and finding new clients, new projects. Eventually, if you build your career right, you're not just going out and having to find things. Awesome jobs are finding you. One of my favorite clients of all time that I actually haven't even talked to in like 7 years. It was one of my earliest clients, actually just referred me to another client for a project. And it just kind of shows that if you do really good work for people, they remember you and they keep on referring you. And even people I haven't worked with have referred me to other people looking to hire a freelance writer or freelance memoir ghostwriter or copywriter. And it's really amazing the compounding effect of putting yourself out there and really kind of like being like, I'm here to help. I'm here to help make things for you. I'm here to help create things. And how that can really just keep turning into this flywheel that keeps on spinning, even without you having to push it or do anything. And how that can really spiral into a beautiful career that feeds you, like a garden that is like growing, and like you're attending to it and you're continuing to kind of support it and let it grow. But you don't have to do all of the hard work of like planting things from scratch after a certain point. You need to pull out the weeds and make sure that you're taking care of your garden. But once you kind of establish this beautiful garden, it starts to really bear fruit for a long time to come. And that's exactly what freelancing is, especially when you're kind of more of like an expert freelancer and you've been at it for a certain amount of time and you've really put in the effort. Another thing that I want to address, and I put in here a little bit, but it's this whole idea of, will AI take our jobs? And I think that there is some really great case for AI helping freelancers, especially if you work in like the SEO side of things. There are a lot of AI tools that can help you with finding keywords and kind of targeting things more specifically or optimizing your articles. But when it comes to actually writing, especially if you're in certain areas of freelance writing, such as memoir ghostwriting or certain forms of copywriting, anything long form, like people are still going to hire the great writers that they need, because great writing is great thinking. And as we've seen with AI, ChatGPT can be wrong quite a bit. And it also, if everybody has access to these AI tools, none of their writing is going to stand out. And people hire freelancers not just because they want some words on a page, they hire freelancers to have that artistic, artisan touch to help their business stand out. And so I don't think that freelancing is going to be impacted in AI in terms of the high quality freelancers are always going to find work. I am more booked and busy than I've ever been, despite the economy, despite AI stuff. And so it really is about, and this is kind of what I touch on in my book, positioning yourself as an artisan freelancer and really understanding how to master your craft, how to master working with clients, and how to deliver great work again and again, and how to deal with projects when they go wrong, because if you're a freelancer, things will go wrong. It happens to everybody. And learning how to gracefully get out of bad situations. All of that is covered in here, and I really hope you enjoy. And if you read the book, would love to hear, because I have made this for you, and I hope you enjoy it. And feel free to ask me any questions if anything wasn't covered in the book. I'm always here to help you guys with anything that you need. So go check out my profile to get your copy.